Welcome back to another episode of Spaceman 2.0. When I sit on the shoulders of giants that have gone before me is the only way I can see further in this life. So I thank all of those that have went before to give me the knowledge of the truth. So what do we have here? The New World Order, templates of war. Okay, so before I get into the bank holiday coming maybe on Monday, with March 13th, 3 years after 2020, March 13th, when we got locked down in the pandemic, we have a bank going under on the 10th of March, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, causing people to make a run on their money, which is making a lot of havoc in the banking industry. Now, there's going to be an emergency meeting on Monday, which is the 13th of March. They love their Marches, and they love their 13th. This is the year 322. The Skull and Bones year backwards is March 22 and then 2023, which is a palindrome for the Skull and Bones New World Order number, forwards and backwards. It's a very sacred number. Let's see what they have in store as they debase all of the banks. Janet Yellen says she will not bail out any more of the banks. The feds will not bail out any big banks anymore. So what do we have to take place is the liquidity issue of all the money. So they're setting up a systematic paralyzation of the financial system in order to bring in the new quantum financial system using cryptocurrencies for cross-border payments and having these digital currencies being backed by gold once again so that we can believe in them. So to get into the templates of war, Ray Dalio, he's an economist. He knows his stuff. He says there's 5 types of war. The first, and it goes in this sequence, is a trade war. Okay, and what do we see with trade war? I'm not sure if that's Nafta or just money. So money currencies is the first thing for a trade war. It's going to be an international currency trade war is my belief. And nuclear war is put in fear. They might let off one place or do a holographic bomb there and make you think that it's a nuclear war. The holography is really amazing these days. U2 is using it to make whales swim around inside a dome, a sky dome of sorts where they do their concerts. It's just amazing. So don't be fooled by Project Bluebeam coming up. If they can't fool you with an asteroid about to attack you like it is on the news these days, it's going to be Project Bluebeam, which is fake alien invasion caused by, and then God coming back to save you with putting his face up in the sky and speaking to you from within your mind. The Russians have proven mind control using frequencies, and they can put these sound waves into your brain. Look up scalar technology. If you don't believe me, it's still true. So the 5 types of war are the trade war. Then the next is the technology war. And right now we're in the midst of a technology war in a sense where the world is being led with this new technology except for the US. So once they pass their SEC case against cryptocurrency, they will regulate it and it will come on board and the USA will then take hold. So then the next is a geopolitical influence war, which are basically all wars. The next is a capital, economic, and sanctions war. Like they put sanctions on Russia where they can't use SWIFT to move money around. And that's why they are making problem, reaction, solution so that we will then, they will then say, oh, we can't use SWIFT. We have to go around. They'll use BRICS and use another system for international monetary cross-border payments. And the next is a military war. So right now we're at the sanctions war, military war even as well with the Ukraine and Russia. So they got them all going on pretty much. Now, Ray Dalio said his New World Order has come in since 1945, which is interesting according to Ray Dalio. But in 1944 was the Bretton Woods Agreement to make the US dollar the international world reserve currency. still backed by gold at this moment until 1971, when Nixon took us off the gold-backed currency, and it became fiat currency backed by only oil instead, with the Saudi Arabia agreement to only sell oil in US dollars, backing up the power of the US dollar. So, this has been a systematic control and printing of money to inflate the dollar, leading to the Saudis changing agreement and joining the BRICS community of a basket of countries. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But now Iran and other countries are wanting to join. A lot of countries are joining them. And this is part of the SDR and part of the BIS and the IMF. And they're trying to make a basket of world reserve currency so that no one will use the US dollar, and they'll debase the US dollar and bring down the empire of the US so that they can bring in a new empire. So the BRICS is currencies backed by precious oil or precious metals, oil, and other mineral deposits, and in exchange for the US dollars, which is backed by nothing. Russia's rubles, now due to sanctions by the West, led them to back their currency by gold. So more gold has been bought in the last few years by big banks around the world, especially China. The backed new money system by gold-backed digital currencies about to hit the market as the last thing since FTX collapse, and now SVB connected to Circle USD coin, leading to fear and uncertainty and doubt about investing in crypto. So all along, the new system will be using blockchain and crypto to run it, leading to most people not investing until too late, to use borrowed funds, which will cause maybe bankruptcy for personal as well as more systemic bank situations. So what do we have going on here is this new messaging system for the internet, okay, was brought in 1993 for sending emails in 2 to 3 seconds compared to 3 to 5 business days. Now 2023, we're having a new system come in for the internet of value to send money connected with anything in an instant, 2 to 3 seconds, as opposed to 2 to 3 business days for banks to clear their Nostro Vostro accounts. So what do we have here? That was 30 years. Okay. And now you have March 20th, 2020, Friday, they locked us down in emergency of pandemic. And March 23, March 13th, it's a Monday. After March 10th, Silicon Valley Bank run, leading to Monday's emergency. The 10th was a Friday. They love their Fridays. Emergency FDIC Fed meeting is on Monday. They're having an emergency meeting on Monday. Like their emergency locked us down on the Friday the 13th, 2020. Okay. Actually, they signed Nafta into agreement March 13th, 2020. Totally giving up our sovereignty. In 2010, our Prime Minister, Harper, came away from the 2020 G20 meeting down in Toronto where they showed us the Gestapos down there, keeping people penned up. That he says we've lost our sovereignty, and that's okay. So what was that? That was part of the NAFTA, a continuing NAFTA agreement, signing away your true sovereign rights so that you will now be part of a new system. Wherever there's new money system, it's a new law system. You change people's money, you change their law, basically. The region in which they live. So they control all these regions and words with legal and terminology, first lawful terminology, and we'll get into that, how the Constitution there's 2 of them. One's all in capitals and one is in proper lawful English, capital, lowercase, then capital, lowercase. All uppercase letters is actually a law. Actually corporation. So this is 3 years later. 3 is a hidden number, numerology for energy and manifestation. Okay, so in 2023, this bank run can happen because the money is not backed by anything. It's called fiat fractional banking, which lends 20 to 1. Okay, they used to have gold backing the money until 71. Then they made it fiat fractional banking. Now it may be even probably 100 to 1 they can lend out. printing out money on thin air and charging interest on it. It's basically highway robbery. So they do everything with their numerology. 3 years later, 3 is a hidden number in numerology for energy and manifestation. 3, 6, and 9, as Tesla shows, and math and biology of human beings created shows. 3, 6, and 9 are never shown when you do biology of the math. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, and so on. If you add those numbers, 20 or 16 is a 7, 32 is a 5, 64 is a 10. You'll always come out to 10 is a 1, okay? 16 is a 7. You'll always come out to 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10. You'll never get 3, 6, and 9 when you show how the body divides. Anyways, that's a little side tip to reason out how these numbers are miraculous and invisible to us. So, in 2018 around, I believe the BIS Basel III agreement is to have all banks store and hold gold reserves with CBDC talk and digital currencies. My hypothesis is to get you to believe new money being digital, while all of it's digital, debit, credit cards, points cards, crypto, it's all digital. But paper money is still digital, for every bill is digitally numbered and counted for as it passes back into bank hands. Since then, big banks been storing gold, hence all the gold digging shows since in the last few years. So all the big banks with the BIS have now to store gold. Why? Because they know they have to back these digital currencies by gold for people to believe in them. So we're coming into the CBDC phenomena. Now, this is all being set up, whether you like Trump or you like Biden or whatever. They're all shills to the overall game plan. Okay, Trump said Biden will reverse all economic growth established and cause a Great Depression. That seems like it's going to be happening very soon. So how do we get out of this mess? Well, it's to understand the big picture, okay? The big picture is we are higher evolved souls. There's indigo crystal star souls of higher human universal man using love and wisdom. We have the genius within us to overcome all of this. We can let them help us build up the infrastructure, and then we use it for good. We don't need to use all this technology for evil. How they want to use it for our control and surveillance, okay? We can turn it on and off and learn how to use it for good. So basically, the big picture is, even in the Bible, there's Gog from Magog will, come and take over the Middle East. I believe they're already there. Their souls are of lower reptilian vibration. They want to devour the earth using hate and violence. Where God is not about violence. God is about love and truth. So, I believe the serpent race are sun worshippers because they need the light, the false light of Lucifer, instead of the true but invisible light to our eye, because it is so powerful, the source of all the stars and lights in the midnight sky. See, reptilian-brained individuals run on fear and ego greed. For me. Trying to accumulate everything for themselves and not realizing that everything will be given in the right time when needed. Instead of Christ-like souls that know that the world is created by God for abundance and sharing, not control and enslavement, in which these evil, hell-bent, reptilian-brained, demonic soul beings, controlled by the fallen angels, Anunnaki, Nephilim, who were cast from the outer realms of heavenly nature to a more dense area of creation as the third dimension, is the center of all learning for soul beings to incarnate and learn life lessons. So, having said that, one of the things they tried to take away from our knowledge, of thousands of years of knowledge of people knowing, the Alexandria Library and everything knowing. So 500 years ago, everyone knew the earth was flat. Then the Rothschilds paid the Galileos and such to come up with alternative mathematical formulas to give different perspectives of the same phenomena, leading to a world slowly becoming indoctrinated with a new teaching, taking away the center of God in your life. Even up to the 50s, the geography taught in schools in USA was the earth is flat. So all this globe spinning is BS to confuse the masses, making them think they're insignificant specks of sand on a hurtling ball through space, about to hit a wall or be hit by asteroids at any time. Pardon my spelling mistakes. So I can, by common sense and deductive reasoning and all thorough investigations and scientific experiments, we can prove the Earth is flat. They don't let us to fly over the North Pole or the South Pole. And, you might think I'm crazy, but believe what you will. Okay, there's been enough proof by the elites doing plans. So basically, what they've tried to tell us, okay, is that the Earth is a globe spinning through space and whatnot. When Nikola Tesla said we live on an infinite realm, and God is far more mysterious than a bunch of paid scientists to say otherwise and use fisheye lens to prove their lies as true. Any curve is through a fisheye lens when you see it up from the heavens above. Look it up. Makes all curve. Trust your common sense. God is expansion, not silly astrophysics math that no one but elites understand. It's part of a great deception to hide God, and great design is infinite, but has finite realms within it to progress within the great one. You can't get to heaven unless through the Christos path. He knows the way. Antarctic, most protected realm on the planet. Why? Why project? Why the project they demonstrated of Dominic and Fishbowl in 1958. Okay, Dominic means of the gods, so Fishbowl of the gods, and they sent up missiles in 1958 in the sky below the 60-degree parallel to see what they can hit, because they knew there was something above them, a firmament, a ceiling. So why is it illegal to explore the South Pole? Why shut down if you bring fuel beyond the 60-degree parallel? Forbes News will try to say, oh, it's all this and that. But if you do math of curvature and everything drops 8 inches by each mile squared, you do the math. No mason that builds or airplane pilots takes into consideration a curve. Ask any true pilot this, his real knowing. I dare you, especially Qantas Airlines. They'll get fired if they talk about it. The ceiling is lower in the South Pole region. It's a dome, like your skull is a dome. Free your dome and be freedom. This is God's training ground. When you graduate, you can stay in the outer limits or realms like dimensions within dimensions, a heavenly place depending on soul progression. No, we discuss, okay. So what can the firmament be? All right. Even in, I believe in the Bible, in Job, it says, and God laid out a firmament like a tent over the earth. So, and how else could the devil show the whole world to Christ to tempt him, if you think about it? He brought him to the top of Mount Muru, which is the North Pole. Why can't we fly over the North Pole or the South Pole? Think about it. Bible never says we're on a globe hurling through space at 500,000 miles an hour. Okay. And then while going around it at 67,000 miles an hour, and then spinning on the equator at 1,000 miles an hour, and no one sees or feels a thing because of gravity. Gravity isn't what they say. While the clouds float by and the stars perfectly surfing and navigate the North Star. Stars never change. How can stars be predicted thousands of years ahead of time? Because it's all math calculated and spinning around us. We are the center, the most precious creation. Wouldn't be hurling through space about to hit an asteroid. Think, it's common sense. God is great and simple, just as Nikola Tesla, smartest man that ever lived, said. We live on an infinite realm. So, with that being said, may your mind expand infinitely out and understand the truth that is within your soul and your being, which is as great as the depths of the infiniteness that you can conceive of. But you are an immortal and eternal being. Okay, you are that already. You're living in a vehicle that has maybe a lifespan of sorts, just like any car. Why are these serpent races wanting the sun to be the center? Because they need the sun to warm up. They worship the light of Lucifer because that's the only light they know. They don't know the true light, the hidden light that's within us all. and it's brighter than all the lights they can ever conceive of. So, with that being said, may your soul realize its higher universal nature using love and wisdom, instead of going down into the low vibrational reptilian mind that only believes in hate and violence to secure a place for yourself. The great utopia that's coming will be of God's utopia of love and light, not of the evil elite's utopia of enslaved man using technology and robotics to make man into the image of themselves. See, God made man in his image, and man wants to make man in his own image. That's why they're using genetically manipulating materials now and trying to put it in us. May we stay awake and stay aware, and always remember, you are of the universal light of truth and wisdom and love. God bless. Go in peace. I'm Spaceman 2.0, and I'm out.